first time playing the Steelers since the Super Bowl. Does it mean anything extra special at all in that context?
Not really. I think the only guy on this roster that was there for that is Ben, probably. So it is strange how that happened, 13 and 17, obviously breaking my collarbone and missing both of those games. I remember the 9 game very well. We were pretty explosive on offense. Hit Greg down the middle for about I think it was an 85-yard touchdown. Then hit JJ on a post late in that game to put us ahead, and then Big Ben took him down to beat us there right at the end. It was a good football game.
Seems strange. You and Ben have played for so long that you haven't met that much except for the Super Bowl. Just how well do you kind of know him just from the background and stuff like that?
Yeah, I met Ben, I think, in 2005 probably, or 6 at the Tahoe golf event. Been friendly over the years when I see him, but haven't spent any time with him outside of the few times getting to see him on the field. He was drafted in the draft right before me, 2004, with him and Eli and Phil. So I've always followed his career pretty closely. He's had a lot of success. He's had a great career, Hall of Fame career. But it is strange. We've just played the 2 times.
Aaron, were you at all surprised with how Josh held up at left tackle? And if he needs to be protecting your blind side again this week, is there any more confidence that you might have in him than a week ago since you've seen him do it?
I think he's got a lot more confidence after that game for sure. I think it's good for us to go through that playing against an elite defensive line to realize we got to help our guys out, get going. And that's going to be the case when Dave comes back, whenever he's ready. I think it's important to look at how that game went and compare it to some of the other games we've had against elite pass rush defensive lines, and understand that regardless who's playing, we can get those guys comfortable on our side and get them a little uncomfortable. It definitely helps us be able to move the ball down the field. I know we didn't throw for a ton of yards, but we also had 3 pass interference penalties that would have obviously added some more yardage possibly. So I felt like we protected well, but we helped those guys out, both Billy and Yash, many times, which got them very comfortable. And if we got to keep playing with Yash, I think he's got more confidence, and obviously everybody who watched the film has more confidence watching the way he played.
Aaron, in what ways have you guys been more creative to get Devontae the ball the last couple of weeks?
Not really more creative. I just think that this scheme has dictated it at times. A team, last week the Niners were comfortable playing some more man coverage, especially in some 3rd down situations. So he naturally had a few more opportunities. And then just some of our run solution stuff off of run plays with him, having some RPO looks there is what we've always done, but based on the way that teams play us dictates whether or not he gets some of those extra kind of touches. And when he's touching the ball, obviously we're a better football team when him and 33 are touching the ball a lot, and that's what jumps off the film when you watch that back is those guys are explosive players, and they're difference makers.
It surprised you to know that he's being pressed more this year. I don't know why anyone would actually do that, but he actually is.
Yeah, some defenses want a challenge. They want to challenge their guys and disrupt the timing in the passing game. That's what man coverage is built for, I believe, is to throw off the timing of the passing game and to give your defensive line a little more time to get after the quarterback. So I'm sure it's not going to be the end of it. I'm sure more teams will do it. Definitely not something that 17 shies away from.
What do you see on film with T.J. Watt?
Well, he got hurt in the 2nd game, but he's a difference maker. Obviously. Haven't played against him, but the kind of ability and talent. He could have been defensive player of the league probably the last 3 or 4 years. It seems definitely last year he had an incredible year, and the year before, and like I said, 3 or 4 years. He's a guy you got to account for sure. He's a premier pass rusher. He's a premier athlete in the league, and he's a difference maker. Hoping that groin's a little, maybe not quite ready.
take some time to enjoy Sunday night a little bit on Monday and Tuesday?
Man, I was exhausted. Like I said yesterday, it's it's not easy falling asleep after night games. Definitely not on the plane at times. So I got back to the house in the early morning as the sun was coming up, tried to get a little bit of sleep, but it was about recovery the last couple of days and moving on.
Aaron, I know Brady spoke out against this. The 49ers had all their DBs with the single jerseys. I know Detroit's linebacker, I know that one of the Steelers pass rushers does. Does that matter to you at all? Is that a problem or just nothing for you?
It's different. It's not really a problem. It is definitely different. I like I like seeing guys in single digits. I think it looks cool. I'm happy for those guys. Most of those guys probably were single digits in high school, and there's kind of nice to be back in it. It definitely helps when the way things used to be, with the type of numbers certain people could wear. But, when you watch the film, you know who the guys are.
Aaron, you guys have had, quite a few really good skill position blockers, through the years. I know Jordy, Crabtree, John, obviously, but Randall, absolutely. But with what Mercedes and Allen are giving you guys right now at those respective positions, what's the trickle-down effect, for an offense when you're getting that kind of production from players like that?
It creates a standard for the other players watching that this is what it's supposed to look like, and this is what owning your role looks like. Allen didn't have a lot of targets the first couple weeks. I hit him on the first play of the game, first third down of the game. Then he basically blocked his ass off the rest of the game. There's a lot of lessons to be learned by the way he plays, and then him jumping on special teams, run down kickoffs. That's what leadership looks like, and it doesn't matter if you have a C on your chest or not. That's what leadership really looks like. I'm proud of that guy. He's a great dude and a close friend, and does so many things for us that doesn't show up all the time in the stat sheet. Mercedes, what can you say? That's the reason you want him back every year. It doesn't matter how old he is because he dominates the line of scrimmage. And again, he's not going to get a lot of targets, but he has a distinct role for us. He owns that role. He embraces that role, and he's been playing great for a lot of years.
Aaron, why do you guys not play more no huddle than you do? Is it strictly because you want to keep changing personnel, every play, or is there a philosophical reason why you don't?
I think in general this scheme hasn't played a lot of no huddle over the years. There are so many different options with each play. Schematically, I think that's they want to dial up things you can 2 or 3, 4 plays almost on every single huddle. So I think that's the reason why. I think we have tried over the years to do some of that and keep fighting for some of that. We start off the game running a little bit of no huddle, and I liked that. So we'll see. Hopefully, we keep doing some more of that.
Do you have more options to use plays when you're just going normally as opposed to the bank of plays you have for no huddle? Is that accurate?
That's accurate. I would rebut that by saying, there's a lot of conversation over the years about perfect play versus good plays you can run quickly, and I think that was always the push-pull with us, with Mike, was let's not try and be perfect. Let's just run things quickly that are good plays, and we'll out-execute within that play the defense. I think this scheme does some amazing things. At times, the desire to be perfect can butt up against the ability to go fast and adjust within the scheme, and that's stuff that we talk about every week.
And some of these young guys up front, do you make a point of getting to know them a little bit in training camp, just so you kind of know what's there once they get on the field?
Yeah, I mean that's what I do with all the young players. I enjoy the opportunities to sit with them at lunch or talk to them in the locker room or between meetings or after a meeting. They're all unique individuals. It's nice to get to know their backgrounds, what they're into. You got to be attentive, though. Like when I pull up in the morning and I see Royce getting out of the passenger seat, that you got a little ammo, right, to go to that breakfast table and ask him who was dropping you off, and why aren't you driving your own car, and what's the situation at home looking like? You have those little entry points, and then you start to get them out of their comfort zone, right? Because one, they might not expect you to sit at the breakfast table with them. Two, they didn't know you were watching them get out of that car. Three, they didn't know you were watching them get out of the passenger side of the car, and so you got some good ammo to start with them, but you just got to be attentive. I don't tell them this, but I'm watching. I'm always watching.
Sorry, can you tell pretty quickly when a guy has it, or you can trust him?
Sometimes. I think the biggest key is to how do you empower a guy to get comfortable and show his personality as soon as possible. Because when a guy can be comfortable, that's when you can see them play to their full potential. Some guys, it takes a while. It can take multiple years before they really feel comfortable. I think of multiple guys who've kind of started slow, and it's taken some time for them to feel they can be themselves. There's constant, I think, fear of failure that overrides the ability to relax and get comfortable. Some guys thrive on that fear of failure. That's what Geronimo Allison always felt like, he was going to get cut every single week because he just was driven by that desire to be great and to never be satisfied or feel like he arrived. And I think there's something special about that. But there's also something good when you can get guys to feel comfortable, not too comfortable like they've arrived, where they're trying to, act like a 15-year vet or whatever. But it's that fine line of inspiring them to be comfortable, but realize that still got to earn their stripes.
Aaron, your defense got the pass rush going pretty well against San Francisco after a kind of slow start in the sacks department. Is that something you saw coming and practicing against Rashawn and those guys a lot? Is that something that you expected and wasn't able to see?
Yeah, it's great to see it. I think we can help with that. I think we took the ball, we went down and scored, and eventually got up 2 scores and then 3 scores, and that's over the years it's helped our pass rush because they become obviously way more one-dimensional. So anytime we can do that, that's good for them. I'm really proud of Preston. Preston's come in after taking a pay cut and been a great teammate, a great leader. He's practiced really well. Rashawn, you've seen the growth every single year. You knew he was going to keep being an ascending player. But I am really proud of Preston, the way that he's played and battled and led, and I thought he played a really good. I thought he's played good all 3 games.
Aaron, you guys obviously beat that.
How do you avoid a letdown the following week?
I think the media is the only people that talk about letdowns. We don't, we keep the preparation very similar, keep the focus tight. We don't think about letdowns or anything. That's all media chatter.
You've won a lot of games here. This is a pretty veteran team, especially by comparison. Do you have to learn how to win regardless? Like Sunday, was that important from that perspective?
Huge. Yeah, every year you got to relearn how to win with this group of guys. I think the ones of us who've been around and know what it feels like and what it should look like, obviously we have the foundation of that, but every team has to learn how to win from number 1 to 69 on the roster. We got to feel how special it is. And I didn't quite feel that after the Detroit game for whatever reason. Maybe we won by 3 scores, and maybe they didn't think it was as big a win because it was Detroit or whatever the mindset was. It's hard to win in this league, and I think that's what we were trying to convey after week 2. It didn't feel like the excitement of how special it is to win. 30-28 against San Fran, you could feel the excitement, and obviously the way it finished, and Mason making a big kick, and us hitting a couple chunk plays. But every year you have to relearn, and I think readjust the perspective and savor how special it is to win in this league and never take it for granted, because we've been fortunate to, those of us who played here a long time, to play in Titletown and understand what the expectations are, which it isn't like that across the league. That withstanding, never take winning for granted, because it's tough in this league and it's special, every single one of them.
Speaking of that, we saw your reaction to Mason making the kick. I don't know if you've ever been that guy that says, I hate losing more than I enjoy winning. I don't know if I've ever heard you say that. But I'm wondering, in year 17, what does a comeback like that, a finish like that, either, you had the great line for Moneyball, but what does that kind of a game mean to you in year 17? And also, why did you hug Joe Barry and you hugged Getsy, but you didn't hug Tom?
It's funny because Tom mentioned something about that this morning, so I knew he was a little salty about it. Over the years, defensive coaches have been strategically placed close to me at certain times. I distinctly remember in 16 playoffs, Turgo being the add-on hugger to me and Van Pelt, which was a great picture and scene. I wanted to get a great look at the kick. A lot of times you can just look at the kicker and then know. But for me, it was something special to be able to like have the view to be able to see the uprights and see the first part of the kick, and then take my estimation because the kicker's going to tell you right away if it went in or not. So I was way down there, and Joe I think was still steaming from the drive before. Maybe he was down there as well, and he was just kind of whether he was trying to get on TV or not. He turned right to me, and you got to kind of hug the first person you see, I guess. I wasn't, I let the young guys run down there and make a little dog pile. I was thinking there might be one down there, but I wasn't going to get involved in that. And then, like I told Tom, he always knows where the cameras are at, so he was strategically placing himself, I think, to be able to kind of get my, my eye line there. I went for the hard, side five, which he's a big fan of. So although I didn't, embrace Tom, I feel like I definitely gave him some pub. I'm sure Eddie and Charlie, his boys, are happy to see Dad on TV, and Getsy is kind of a nut after wins, so I wasn't thinking he was going to pick me up off the ground. But there's nothing like winning. There is really nothing like that feeling. Doesn't matter if you're in year 1 or year 17. It's special every single time. And like I said after the game, that line from Moneyball has always struck me in watching that movie. I'm a big fan of the movie, growing up in the Bay Area and remembering what that streak was like, and just how special this game is. It's given me and everybody who's played it, and you all covered it for so many years, a lot of great moments, and that was just another one. Every single one of them special.
Aaron, I wanted to ask you about your recall ability. Tomlin's been there a long time. Let's say he shows, an alignment or coverage that you recognize from maybe even that, 09 game. How fast does that come to you? Do you need a still to look at it to make sure, or is it right there? And I've seen this before.
Well, if you're talking about like Lawrence Timmons running through the A-gap and drilling me a couple times, that probably hit my brain pretty quick. I was laughing because I feel like the ends when I was playing, I'm closer to playing against, Greg Lloyd and Kevin Green maybe than some of these guys who are playing now. Having not played against them in the regular season of 2009, but the recall is so important the first couple seconds out of the huddle. I think once the play is there. And I saw Peyton said something interesting about this, about the wristband being a slight hindrance to the images you see in your mind, which that was a really interesting point. I don't know why I'm bringing it up now, but it just kind of came to my head. When you break the huddle, the most important thing is to get that positive image or something from film or something from the past on your brain as quickly as possible to help you feel better about the play you're about to run. So that's always been an important part of playing a position to me, and having that recall in the moment. And I'll never forget those couple middle dogs they ran and getting drilled the first couple plays for sure.
Devontae was.
I got time for 2 more, guys.
Devontae was talking with us last week about how he remembers every Janus over Adams hashtag from 2015 and how that kind of messed with him. What was the biggest thing you learned about him when he came out on the other side of that season?
Oh man, I think I learned the mindset in 2014. I talked about this, where he went multiple weeks without getting many targets, and then the toughness in 2015 after Jordy went down in Pittsburgh, I believe it was, preseason, to have him play most of the season with an injury to his ankle, a guy who makes his living at the line of scrimmage, but to see him not complain the whole year was really stuck with me. How mentally tough he was from the previous year, and then physically tough, through 15. So you pair a mentally tough and a physically tough person together in the same person, you're going to get something special probably, especially when you have the kind of crazy talent that he does. The biggest thing that he did, I don't know if he's talked about this, but if you look at the old film, I mean, Tay was a big man. He's still a big dude, but he was, 222 pounds. He was thick. And I bet you he's probably under 210 now. He's just leaned down and gotten even quicker. Now he can get on top of guys and beat them over the top. The relentless pursuit of perfection has always separated Devontae from his peers.
Aaron,
On the
question
last
earlier
one,
how
Last one.
offensive line, especially with how Yash played, and it's not exactly the most veteran line, but through 3 games, what do you see now when you look at that offensive line?
Bunch of young guys still. A bunch of young guys that are still trying to figure it out, but guys getting better. I think that's one thing to always temper is the way it looks in the preseason. Sometimes you write guys off or you don't think a guy can play, maybe, and then they get in the regular season and they play really well. John Runyon's one of those guys, when you look at some of the preseason film and you're wondering how he's going to do, and he's played really good the last couple of weeks. I thought Rick last year was one of those guys, where you wasn't sure his body was going to hold up. You put him out there and he balls out week in and week out. So there's a lot to be said for a person's ability in the moment to rise to the necessary level to compete at a high level.